Have you ever found yourself in the middle of a conversation, a perfectly normal one, and felt a strange sort of exhaustion settle over you? Not a physical tiredness, but a deep psychic weariness. Everyone around you is so certain, so wonderfully, frighteningly sure of their positions. They're armed with facts, with statistics, with moral imperatives. They plant their flags on little hills of conviction, ready to defend them to the death. And you are just there. You listen, you nod, you understand the logic, you can see the passion, but when it's your turn to speak, to plant your own flag, you find your hands are empty. There is a quiet space inside you where an opinion is supposed to be, and it's vacant. And in that moment, a familiar wave of anxiety might wash over you. Am I apathetic? Am I unintelligent? Am I a coward for not taking a side? Society has 1,000 little ways of telling you that to be without a strong opinion is to be without a backbone, to be a ghost in the machine of human progress. You are told to stand for something, or you will fall for anything. And so you feel this pressure, this immense crushing weight to formulate something, to churn out a viewpoint that you can present to the world, a membership card to a tribe. But what if I were to tell you that this emptiness you feel, this quiet refusal of your mind to join the battle, is not a sign of your deficiency, but a symptom of a profound and emerging clarity? What if this so-called failure to have an opinion is not a weakness at all, but one of the most potent, most liberating spiritual powers you could ever possess? What if you were not failing the game, but waking up from it entirely? You see, the world we have constructed is a grand and elaborate contest of ideas. It is a theater of certainty. From a very young age, we are taught that the goal is to know. We are rewarded for having the right answer, for being quick, for being decisive. This training continues into adulthood, where our entire social structure is built upon the foundation of fixed positions. Our politics, our careers, our social circles, even our family dynamics, they all thrive on the illusion of solid ground. An opinion is a piece of that ground. It's a thing you can stand on, a thing you can use to define yourself and to measure others. I am the kind of person who believes this. They are the kind of people who believe that. It simplifies the terrifyingly complex dance of existence into a predictable, manageable flowchart. This game requires immense energy. It requires you to constantly police your thoughts, to filter new information through the lens of your existing beliefs, and to be ever ready to go into battle. The mind becomes a fortress, and the world is divided into allies and enemies. The deep weariness you feel is the exhaustion of the soldier who has been on watch for years without a moment's rest. You are tired of defending a territory that you are beginning to suspect doesn't even exist. Your pain does not come from your lack of conviction. It comes from the dawning realization that the entire war is a phantom, a play of shadows on a cave wall, and everyone is furiously attacking and defending the shadows. The illness of the collective is this addiction to being right. It's a deep-seated fear of the unknown, a terror of the void of, I don't know. An opinion is a shield against this terror. It's a little story we tell ourselves to feel safe. But you are starting to see the shield. You are beginning to feel its weight. You are noticing that in order to hold it up, you have to stop seeing the world. You can only peek through a tiny slit, just enough to see the enemy. Your frustration, your sense of alienation, is the completely natural response of a healthy consciousness to an insane environment. It is the sanity of the one person in the room who quietly points out that the emperor has no clothes, while everyone else is busy complimenting the magnificent invisible fabric. They are not mad, and you are not sane. They are simply asleep in the dream, and you are beginning to stir. And this is where the great shift occurs. This is the moment of revelation. That space inside you, the one you feared was a void of apathy, is not a void at all. It is an opening. It is a clearing in a dense, overgrown forest. You have been taught your entire life that you must fill every empty space with furniture, with ideas, with beliefs, with a solid sense of self. But you are now discovering the joy of an empty room. Let's look at this flaw you possess, this inability to crystallize your thoughts into a hard, sharp opinion. Let's turn it over in our hands and see it not as a broken piece of pottery, but as a lens. When you feel you lack a strong opinion on a contentious issue, you are told you are indecisive or uninformed. But the truth is, you are receptive. Think of a lake. When its surface is turbulent, thrashed by the winds of its own motion, it can reflect nothing. It only shows its own turmoil. But when the lake is calm, when it is still, it can reflect the entire sky, the mountains, the trees, the clouds, in perfect, breathtaking detail. Your mind, in its refusal to form a premature opinion, is becoming that still lake. While others are churning their own waters, defending their own turbulence, you are becoming a perfect mirror for reality. You are not indecisive. You have simply stopped projecting your own inner noise onto the world. You are finally, truly beginning to see what is there. You have the capacity to listen to one side and truly hear it. You can feel its emotional logic. You can inhabit its perspective for a moment. Then you can listen to the other side and do the exact same thing. You are not trying to find the flaws. You are not building a counter-argument. You are simply receiving. This is a rare form of intelligence that our society has forgotten how to value. It is the intelligence of empathy, of holistic understanding. You are not less informed. You are becoming capable of holding more information than a single, rigid opinion can contain. Then there is the feeling of being disengaged, of being apathetic. You see people fired up, marching, shouting, fighting for a cause, and you feel a sense of distance. You wonder, why don't I feel that fire? What is wrong with me? But this is not apathy. This is freedom. You have started to see the game-like nature of it all. Imagine two chess masters, utterly absorbed in their match. To them, the fate of the king is the most important thing in the universe. They sweat, they strategize, they live and die with every move. But you are a person who has walked into the room and you see not just the board, but the players, the table, the room, the sunlight streaming through the window. You see that it is a wonderful, intricate, and beautiful game, but it is, in the end, a game. Your lack of investment in winning is not a sign of your failure, but a sign that your awareness has expanded. You are no longer on the board. You are the space in which the board exists. This doesn't mean you are callous. On the contrary, you can have a deeper compassion for the players than they can have for each other. You see their struggle, their passion, their sincerity, without getting trapped in the rules of their conflict. You are free to love both the White King and the Black King, because you are not playing for either side. You are playing a different game entirely, the game of observation, of understanding, of presence. And this leads to the most profound transformation of all. The emptiness you once feared is revealed to be the very essence of presence. An opinion is a thing of the past. It is a conclusion you have already reached based on information you have already processed. When you are holding on to an opinion, you are living in a second-hand world. You are no longer experiencing the present moment. You are interpreting the present moment through the filter of your past conclusions. But when you let go of the opinion, when you allow that space to remain open, you arrive here, now, utterly present. Think of a conversation. Most people do not listen. They wait for their turn to speak. While the other person is talking, they are busy in their own minds,
formulating their rebuttal, searching their memory for a clever anecdote, polishing their argument. Their body is in the room, but their consciousness is in the future, preparing a performance. But you, with your beautiful emptiness, you can actually be there. When someone speaks, you have no agenda. You are not trying to win or to prove a point or to sound intelligent. You are simply there, listening. The cup that is already full can receive no more tea. Your mind, by releasing the need to be full of opinions, has become an empty cup, and so it can receive the world. People will feel this. They may not understand it, but they will feel a profound sense of ease in your presence. They will feel, perhaps for the first time in a long time, that they are truly being heard. You become a sanctuary in a world of noise, a quiet harbor in a sea of argument. You offer the rare gift of pure, unfiltered attention. And that is more healing than any opinion you could ever have. Your reluctance to form a solid conviction is also a sign that you are becoming attuned to a much deeper reality. You have an intuitive sense for the Taoist principle of yin and yang, the idea that all opposites are secretly interconnected. The world of opinions is a world of sharp divisions, good and evil, right and wrong, success and failure, us and them. But you are beginning to perceive the dance. You see that the light creates the shadow, and the shadow defines the light. You see that in every act of so-called good, there is a seed of the unintended bad, and in every tragedy, there is a hidden grace. You feel that life is not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be lived. How can you have a fixed opinion about a river? The river is always flowing, always changing. To have an opinion about it is to try and bottle it, to freeze a single moment and call it the truth. But you know the truth is the flow itself. Your refusal to form a hard opinion is a mark of your respect for the complexity and fluidity of existence. It is not intellectual laziness, it is intellectual humility. It is the wisdom of Socrates, who knew that the only thing he truly knew was that he knew nothing. And so, what happens when you fully embrace this? When you stop apologizing for your quietude and start to inhabit it as a strength? A new kind of life begins to dawn. There is, at first, a sense of peace that is so profound it is almost shocking. The constant, grinding mental chatter of judging, analyzing, and defending begins to fade away. The battlefield of your mind becomes a quiet, open field. You can watch a news report or scroll through a social media feed without the immediate, violent lurch into anger or anxiety. You can see the human drama for what it is, a magnificent and often tragic play. You are no longer a frantic actor, desperately trying to remember your lines. You are sitting in the audience, watching with a deep and loving compassion. There is also a new kind of power. Not the brittle, aggressive power of being right, but the resilient, flexible power of a willow tree that bends in the wind while the rigid oak snaps. When you have no position to defend, you cannot be attacked. When you are not trying to win, you cannot lose. People's arguments, their anger, their attempts to bait you into a fight, they all pass through you, like a breeze through an open window. You are no longer a wall for them to hit. You are the open space in which they can finally hear their own echoes. This is an incredible power. It has the ability to de-escalate conflict, to soothe troubled minds, and to create oases of sanity in a world gone mad with certainty. Of course, there is a loneliness to this path. It can feel like you are the only one who has woken up at a party where everyone else is still drunkenly shouting. You may lose friends who don't understand your new way of being. They may mistake your peace for indifference, your silence for judgment. They need you to play the game with them, because your refusal to play reminds them that the game is not the only reality, and that can be terrifying. This is a dignified solitude. It is the solitude of the mountain peak, which has a clear view of the whole landscape but is visited by few. It is not the pained loneliness of rejection, but the quiet, spacious loneliness of integrity. You are no longer lonely because you are misunderstood. You are simply alone in your clarity, and that is a very different thing. You begin to find joy in simple presence. A walk in the woods is no longer a backdrop for your thoughts. The walk is the experience. The feeling of the sun on your skin, the sound of a bird, the taste of a cup of tea, these things become intensely, vividly alive. Because there is no mental filter of opinion or judgment between you and them. You are finally tasting reality directly, without a menu. You realize that for years you have been eating the menu instead of the meal. So the next time you feel that pressure mounting, the next time you are in a room full of sharp, certain opinions, and you feel that familiar, empty space inside you, do not panic. Do not rush to fill it. Do not judge yourself as weak or apathetic. Instead, I invite you to do something radical. Lean into it. Cherish that emptiness. See it for what it is, a sanctuary, a space of clarity, a moment of true sanity. Just for a moment, let go of the need to know. Let go of the need to be right. Let go of the need to take a side. Simply be the silent, spacious awareness in which the entire chaotic, beautiful, terrible, and wonderful drama of life is unfolding. Observe the passion, the anger, the joy, the fear in others without taking it on as your own. Notice the urge in your own body to form a judgment, and just let it pass like a cloud in the sky. What do you notice in that space? What do you hear when you are not busy formulating a reply? This is not an escape from the world. It is the beginning of a true engagement with it. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are, in fact, finding the only real ground there is, the ground of not knowing. And from that ground, and only from that ground, can true wisdom, compassion, and freedom begin to grow.